Welcome back to the KOA Sports League.
Welcome back to the KOA Sports League.
Welcome back to the KOA Sports League.
We've got live broadcasts like you've never seen before.
Sinclair's holding them off. Cohen's off the front. Giuliano up the inside. Looks like Giuliano's going to time that attack perfectly.
We've got a pre-show like you've never seen before.
And in the race tonight, Alessio has a victim, and he's beaten him twice out of 2 times they've ever raced, and that's Yuri. So he's got the wood, as we like to say.
We've got live workouts like you've never seen before. Seconds to go, 7 seconds to go. Start to grit those teeth if you've just got to loosen the grip and push a little bit harder.
Performance verification like you've never seen before. Hang on. Whoa. Wait, hey. Mate, you're in the book. What's your Valentine? Right, you're in the book, mate. You're in the book. Kent Cross, you're in the book.
And it's all free.
And it's all free.
And it's all free. Welcome back to the KOA Sports League. We are Thursday night in Australia, and we cannot wait to share this league with you tonight. Verified race. We've got over 80 athletes in the paddock, all ready to absolutely smash it out. So welcome to everyone out there, and welcome to Tim Ballantyne somewhere else on the planet. Yeah, this will be good.
Yep, I've got you now, Greg. Yep, got you now. So, absolutely pumped. We are pumped. It's 2 lap Watopia, as you say, and it is just so great to see that we have nearly 77 verified athletes in the paddock tonight, if you don't mind, for a private event. So we're stoked. We've just tickled over 300 members in the KOA Sports League, and we're about 2 weeks deep. So really looking forward to jumping into the action tonight. We're really engaged with so many people now sharing the posts. We've got riders streaming it, and it is absolutely ready to go. So interesting stuff. So Greg, mate, we obviously had the group workout during the week, and you led that, mate, and how did that go for you?
Mate, what an amazing group workout, and what an amazing experience that I was totally stitched up. It was one of the best stitch-ups you've ever done, and a few other athletes around the world as well. One by the name of Jason Avery, I think the kicker got the better of him in the end. So awesome workout. We're going again every week, Tim, in the KOA Sports League. So join the league. You get access to the private workouts as well. And we're going to be running a Zoom call with everyone around the world. So you also have access to jump onto that, get some great coaching. When the coach can talk, you will get some great coaching as well. So, Tim, not too far. We're about 7 minutes out from race rollout.
We've got some stuff to get through, mate. We've got a ride through to go through. So let's give people a bit of a sneaky peek as to what to expect here in the Watopia flat course. As I like to say, the not so flat course, because we are expecting people to tune in for the first time and get used to the this platform and what it has to offer. So let's have a look. So they'll come off the pier here, and they'll take a right-hand and a left-hander onto Ocean Boulevard and straight down through the underwater tunnel, which is pretty unique from a cycling point of view, if you ask me. Now, of course, the first 2 to 3 minutes, you're going to see massive numbers from all the athletes, and also as they start to bunch up through the tunnel as well. Very, very flat through here. The teams start to get organised, and the heart rates start to come down a fraction as they come through this opening. And then pretty much, Greg, the very first chance that anyone really gets to put any heat through the competition is this ramp here, 3%.
Little ramp out of here, Tim. We see an attack every single week in this race that we've run it, and it hurts a little bit across the gravel. And this will all really first lap all bunch back up together, I'm sure.
Slows you down here.
What's that?
Slows you down on that
It
gravel.
does, yeah. It's a lot harder work, and then you come through the fishing village and you start to hit these left, right-handers, 1% as we go gradually up this hill. if you've just reattached to the back of the group, this is the time to hold on to those bars as you go up through these 180-degree turns.
Genuine, much more than a false flat, obviously at 1%, but just starts to put the burn through. Then it just kicks here, and they'll take this left-hander. Of course, we don't race for a sprint. Then this little kicker here, 5%. That's a nice little nasty one after about 4 minutes of 1%. We roll down through here. We get a bit of attrition now, Greg, on this lap, whether it's first or second. We will have lost a few riders out the back, and they come through the sprint common into the S's part of the course, which I'll let you run through.
Yeah, one of the best things about the race, Tim, is you will get a additional power up through that sprint section. So really good one. If you've got a little feather, now's about the time you start to think about using it when we go through these S's, 5%, 6% as we come up and down 3 or 4 times. Definitely the part of the race to hold on again. We'll definitely see some attacks through here. JPV, Tim's usually the classic to smash it off the front. Come down here. We've got about 300 metres left when you see the sign on the right, and a huge effort straight through to the finish. So that is one lap of the 2 that we're going to do. So,
mate, we got 3 riders to jump on through with 4 minutes to spare. You're going to have a look at one straight up.
Let's rip into it. So coming out of Queensland, Mr. Gary Hayden. Gary is a Masters 50-plus rider. Have a go at that there. He's in the he's done a little bit of work at the Cairns Ironman 70.3. They're in a team before. So a few stats from Gary. He is an extremely experienced Zwift racer. He's had over 200 starts. Ooh. He's a regular, Tim, and capper in the AHDR chop ride as well. So often leading out the sprint there for B grade when they come home for the finish. I've watched him many times there. His long TT effort, as you can probably tell, doing 70.3 efforts there, is amazing. There is jam, absolutely. And he is a Tim and Kappa, a member of Cycling Queensland. And thanks to those guys who have jumped in and joined us tonight as well.
Yeah, mate, haven't they been absolutely sensational, Cycling Queensland and some of the national bodies? Let's jump into, speaking of Cycling Queensland, the man of the hour, Stephen Lane, who's just smashing the pie and sauce race here in Australia at the moment. And goodness gracious me, have you seen the quads on this fella? He is absolute monster.
Quadzilla, Tim, they call him Quadzilla.
Some of the biggest numbers that certainly I've seen in terms of a 5-second sprint, but will he be able to hang on through the S's tonight with some of the quality? I think we've got over 20 riders with a Zwift power rating under 150, Greg, or something like that. Yep. So really, really stacked field. He's pretty new to e-racing and Zwift racing, so he's going to have to find his feet a little bit. He's only 7 races in, but certainly one to watch for here in the KOA Sports League Verified Racing. Such is his confidence. He sent me a screenshot today just to make sure that I knew that he could push nearly 2,000 watts. We'll be watching. Can we see the big 2,000 up in the top left tonight in here on the KOA Sports League?
Great to see that, and looking forward to Steve ripping it out. So last athlete tonight, Hamish McKenzie, a young man out of Australia. We're getting a lot of young guys coming. Look at this bloke, Tim. He another young guy, under 20. Pretty relatively new to Zwift, but being under 20, 49 races is probably more than I've done, so going not too bad at all. He comes from this huge Zwift team out of Tasmania, the WP Tas team, and we all know the great Wesi Salzberger is involved with that crew as well, along with a lot of other athletes as well. So definitely used to those rougher roads down in Tassie, and I'm sure a very strong young man. So packs a huge sprint for a young bloke. He's definitely one of those lightweights, Tim, a little hair that will rip it up these hills.
You love them.
I love the lightweights. I love the string beans and the lightweights.
So
have a look out for Hamish. Let's jump down to the paddock kappa and let's see what's going on. We've got about a minute out and we will have a huge stacked field, I'm sure, this evening as we go around. So if you're following along at home on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, Zwift Community Live, chuck us your comments and your feedback. We've got all that stuff sort of going on here at the moment as well.
Per kilo by Sproul.
Chris is coming back over the top. Righto, Tim, let's get ready to go.
We're getting better at that.
30 seconds. We're going all right now.
We're getting much better at that.
So Kappa was going to put me on the moon tonight, but that didn't happen. I think we're just we're watching the paddock there at the moment. So
no moon tonight. So what are we going to see in the first minute, Greg? What happens in a Zwift race if you are in your first Zwift race, and if you are tuning in for the first time? What are we going to see?
Probably some nice big red numbers as we roll off the pier. All the grades will roll in together. So all of our grades race together, A, B, C, and D. So as we like to say, Tim, and we've owned it now, anyone can take the chockies. And we'll start to jump on the front of this group as they all look at those KOA jerseys as they all roll out together. So great to see. And straight to the front, Mr. Alex West just bounced out of his warm-up event this evening, Tim, just over in the Cervelo race, using that as a warm-up now for the KOA Sports League verified race. Great to see.
Yeah, and big start. Just an experience with racer. If you are looking for some great content or looking to refine your craft, Alex puts out some great videos, as do so many people in this race. Daryl Carter, the guys over at ZF. So some unbelievably, just really helpful content. That's sort of, I remember when I first started out with racing, I would jump around and, like anything, mate, surround yourself with good people, and you'll learn a truckload. So certainly in that. And great to see Jack in Shanghai as well. So good to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome to see. Young Aidan Sinclair as well. I saw him at the front of the Cervelo gravel race as well. Joel Murray in that front group. Ignacio, a KOA Sports athlete out of Brisbane, just getting onto the back of that group. And Joel Leby and Jason Avery out of Perth in that huge front pack as well as they go up there and roll around Watopia.
Yeah, doing an absolutely great job. So they're started to sort of come back together. We certainly spoke about that in the pre-ride, how things will start to settle down, potentially some heart rates some to go. Here comes Aidan Sinclair at the moment, one of our early supporters, back last year. Geez, how quick a year goes. But, jumping in, young man, and is he still in quarantine? 64 starters, if you don't mind. That's great. Of course, our community race will nudge over 200, but being a private event, that's a super effort. So that's really, really great, and so many referrals coming through, and already you can sort of feel the culture, particularly in the team building aspect as well, which we'll talk a little bit about, because there's a lot of questions around how the team building, which kicks off in May, but we have 6 teams now registered in the KOA Sports League.
They're getting very strategic, Tim. I spoke to a couple of athletes through the week who are running spreadsheets and being very strategic, a bit like the old fantasy league in the AFL and obviously the NFL as well. So huge front pack here, and a stack of Australian athletes that are well coached KOA Sports athletes all around this country, if I can say so myself. So, and it's great to see as well in there with people like Messiano in there too, Tim. We've highlighted him before. We've got Waters in there, CQ, a lot of CQ members. If you're seeing that CQ in the avatar, in their name, actually, in their Zwift name, that indicates that they are a Cycling Queensland member, and a stack of those guys joining us. And we're looking forward as well, Tim, to having a little bit of head-to-head with Cycling New South Wales, if you don't mind, as we go through maybe possibly on the horizon some State of Origin. Do you know what that is?
Mate, I'm Victorian, so I couldn't give two hoots. No, I, of course, have been living in Queensland now for almost more years than I was in Victoria, but I'm still pasty white. Yeah, remember when we always do our pre-production setup and we go through all our notes, we obviously review a lot of the rides, Joel Murray in there as well. I always ask Kappa, what do I say?
Yep.
Can you add a little bit of tan?
Yep,
Can you just add a little bit of colour? Speaking of Kappa, is your microphone on, mate? Are you a bit tired tonight? He's here.
Yeah, he's awake. He fell asleep on the podcast, but he's awake and he's back, Kappa.
I was having a nap from some earlier stuff, mate, so...
He's going really, really well.
He's excited as ever, Tim.
It was great. We're going through some great KOA Sports League information on the podcast, and Kappa dropped the big yawn in mid-sentence, and such is how Kappa rolls. So the head wobble on him at the moment is unbearable.
Yeah, he's very impressed, Tim, that he's now in the pre-show for the KOA Sports podcast, which you can download on Spotify or iTunes. Again, Tim, all free, plenty of free content. And you've just noticed a young man in our little peloton.
You've got to say his name.
I'm just going to run with his first name. You can say his surname, and it is Lionel Verjassen. There you go. I've done pretty well there. I've been practicing it.
I tell you what, as an Aussie, that is a dangerous surname.
Verjassen.
Okay, just
Verjassen.
Okay, no problem. And D Wood there as well. So what a unique combination. And Tommy Morwood as well.
Tommy.
So great.
Now, shout out to Tommy. His wife, and this is now official, launched on Facebook last night where all things official happened. Congratulations to the Morwood family. They've got number 3 on the way, Tim. So congratulations congrats to them, and I believe Michelle is dialing in tonight having a watch as well.
Yeah, absolutely. As they come out of the ramp here, so we spoke about that earlier. So look for potentially some bigger numbers up top left. We'll go through exactly what you're looking at on the Zwift screen in a second, but you might see some orange lights on the side. Big look at that, 589
There's
watts,
Lionel now.
611 watts just coming out of the tunnel, putting some pressure through the back of the group. We'll see how many can hang on. Sometimes we get some attrition, but such is the standard of the KOA Sports League races, they tend to stick together for longer than you might think.
Yeah, so you saw the two Kenyan ZCC guys bouncing it off the front. They were the first ever all esports cycling team. So shout out to those guys who have joined us in the race, and we are getting more and more of those guys along every week. And obviously they're loving the competition as we smash it around some of these Watopias as well. Some of these Watopia courses.
Yeah, no. It's I think one of the things I'm definitely going to watch closely tonight is how Alex West and Lionel, they work together. Of course, the same team out of there at Canyon. They do a lot of great things for this new and burgeoning sport of e-cycling. So it'll be really interesting to watch their tactics. And of course, tomorrow in the community race, usually we have that big team finesse train lining up as well.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure they'll be along.
Joel Murray there holding in there really well. Aidan Sinclair, swell cyclist. Frank the Tank, he's in there.
Frank the Tank.
Jay
We met him down at
Hamilton.
the Tour Down Under, didn't we, Frank the Tank? So
yeah, he busted me up going up that hill up the back of Adelaide somewhere, so that was a bit of fun. So I think we might have had a couple of cheeky schooners the night before.
just that night, or was that probably every night we're down in Adelaide? But some great times happening down there. So I'm sure that'll be back on next year. Hopefully by that stage we're back to normal. So good to see so many KOA Sports athletes in that. Brando Geriel just rolling it up in there as well.
Jason Avery, Alex Tolman, some great KOA Sports athletes, Greg.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be on. They're going to hit this little ramp not too far ahead there. We see Alan Burton there flying the Irish flag as well, Tim, straight off the front of the group.
Nick Hassay in there out of Taiwan. Great to see his name in the front group. Really, really big improver since he's joined. A great, really handy 70.3 athlete and working on his craft. Like a lot of triathletes, need to work on the swim all the time. Nick came out here to the Sunshine Coast last year, and we tore a few laps up, and he may have just done a little cheeky Danny McGrew on the side of the pool. He won't know what Danny McGrew is, but he was a bit in
I
a
had
bit of
lunch
pain.
with Nick and his lovely family that day, Tim, and he said it was the hardest day of training he's ever done, and it was only 10:30 or 11 o'clock in the morning. So he got his money's worth when he came down here for a family holiday.
Welcome Trusty Rusty to the broadcast. Joel Liebi off the front there, so qualified for Kona and in pretty good form at the moment. Tour de Bintan. He did let me down last week. I'm just going to throw him under the bus yet, so he needs to lift. He got a hard talking to, Joel, and he is off the front like Thomas de Gent broke Zwift yesterday.
Unbelievable,
Did you
right?
see that?
Thomas de Gent got flagged from Zwift, and it said, it looks like your trainer's either out of whack or you're a pro.
Yep.
And he's like, well, I'll take the latter, thanks, because I'm one of the strongest men and women. We'll throw the women in there too. One of the strongest athletes on the planet. So now, Tim, I want you to... There's a man down there with the Guam flag, Upanik. And I know I've said that wrong again, even though he left me a voice message on Facebook today for me to say his name correctly. So shout out to our man from Guam who's in the peloton as well.
Nice ride-on bomb there. Those blue little thumbs up that you can, if you're following the athlete on the Zwift Companion app, you can just chuck the big bomb, which I love to do from time to time. They're winding their way up this 1%. Let's go through some of the things that you are seeing on screen at the moment. So we are with Joel Murray, of course, the man on the mic in Australia that loves to hit all the events and always gives us a great shout out. So Joel Murray here, just a lazy 600, just jumping around there, 335 watts and a cadence there of 90 RPM as they wind up here. So that's up there in the blue box. That's his data at the moment. And the middle white box, which you love, Greg.
Oh, my favourite box, the white box in the middle, is 45 k's an hour, 6.3 kilometres covered in the race, and then the little blue number there, the 26, is the metres of elevation. You'll see that bounce up any minute, and they hit that little ramp, and time elapsed on the right-hand side, 8 minutes 30 at the moment, and you just see that 28, 29 just starting to ramp up here. This is where you'll see some red numbers on the second lap, Tim, as they come up this hill. Now, one thing we haven't never touched on our broadcast is the weather. So I've had it on good authority. We've got a little bit of rain coming through at the moment. There's a southeasterly breeze blowing on the home stretch, so you don't want to get stuck on the left-hand side of the group and get put into the gutter.
That is gibberish, if I've ever heard gibberish, mate. So There we go. So Joel Eby still sitting towards the front there. We might have to refine that craft a little bit. Alex West in there, Jay Sampson, D Wood, all the names in there that we're going to see in the finish. And just looking for the man that we previewed, the Quadzilla, and whether he's in that front pack, which I'll see his name pop up, I'm sure.
Haven't seen him just yet, but he'll be hiding away if he. He's learning his way around Zwift, so he'll be doing his best. And really good line, or just sitting on at the back there, the experienced racer that he is. So we'll see him come through, no doubt. And then we've got Hamilton in there, the Kiwi athlete as well. You'll notice the Kiwi and Australian flags. If anyone else outside those two countries doesn't know, the Australian flag has a little white dot under the Union Jack.
Yeah,
there you go.
There you go, mate. There you go. I
learned that at school.
I love your quirky facts. I love Kappa's facts a little bit more. And geez, whenever we put the podcast out, there's great information in there, like genuinely, helpful.
I don't know. I listen to
it back at least 2 or 3 times, and then everyone's like, "Oh, I just love Kappa's facts." So that's
it's just great, isn't it? We go to all this research where we're interviewing athletes all around the globe,
business leaders.
All people want to hear is Kappa's facts, and they're awful.
No, they're great.
I've
got some good ones lined up for the next one as well.
It'd be great if you could prepare. So they'll take a right-hander here and start the S's. So here we see a little bit of a ramp. Let's see what sort of pressure we see on this front pack. Let's see how many people drop off the back. We've got some power-ups being played, which we'll go through in a second. Watch for these big numbers. We're with Tebow at the moment in great form. Here come those feather power-ups, saving some skin as they come up here. 6% off the front there. We've got Weckrand, and we've got Jepson and Tebow off the front there, putting the hammer down. Jamie Baldwin in there, hanging in really well. He's based in Monaco at the moment, out of Perth as well. Alex West in the front, O'Day, Jepson, Messiano, Ryan Rosselli in there, and Dazzler Carter. He will be streaming the race tonight.
Look at him stretch out now, Tim. This is what happens with that little pinch to 5%, and they really string things out. So Wear and Dare just off the front, and the big BG out of Sydney, he's just folded it, and he's sat back up in the group at 3.5 watts a kilo, as Weren's still there pushing 8 watts a kilo. He's just sat up now, and you'll always pick Tebow as he's a Frenchman, and he wears the beret.
Yeah, watch for the slingshot effect here of the peloton, as well as they really rip through here. So draft bus being plays, Mills, Tolman, all hanging in there. Did we lose many? I don't think so. So Jason Avery in there, well, of course, the reigning champion of the KOA Sports League. No pressure, Jason, out of Perth, and looking to defend his crown here in 2020.
Funny story about Jason. He popped up on the Zoom call the other night, Tim, or the other morning it was, when I nearly died, and he showed up in his inaugural winner's jersey, the real-life jersey of what we're looking at, and he has had an off on that jersey and taken a big hole out of the right-hand side.
Did he tell me that?
He didn't tell me either, but it was very noticeable.
He may have told me and I've just forgotten. He may have told me and I've just forgotten.
I'm sure he'll be dialing in.
We get a look here. So, of course, 2 laps on the Watopia flat course. So we get a look here at what the finish line may look like in terms of starting to line up. But also you get that feeling here of this is where we definitely see Aiden Sinclair. He loves to go early. He puts the pressure on early. He's an aggressive young rider and one to watch on the big stage in the future for sure. So
he was matching it earlier as well. Yeah, definitely matching it earlier in the Cervelo gravel race as well with the big guys. So 16-year-old kid Tim out of Newcastle in New South Wales, and I believe his quarantine of 14 days is over. So I expect Aiden to be back out on the road this week, which will be really good to see. But I think that 2 weeks has done him really well.
Yeah, and a good chance also for riders here. So of course this being our verified race, so really we start running for points next week after, but a good chance you will see some A's and B's mixed in. And what we're about is obviously early days as coaches. We're trying to teach people sort of where they sit and help them coach through. So some people may have said, but that's okay. There's nothing here on offer tonight in terms of points. It is of course a teaching program as well as some serious talent in there. So that will start to get ironed out. That is why we like to do every year 2 or 3 pre-season races, just as people find their feet and get a bit of a feel as to where they actually fit in these races and what sort of power and watts per kilo they can push. So 1 lap down and 1 to go, Greg.
13 minutes 10 through lap 1, so expect that to be about a 25-minute clocking tonight. I'm sure that it'll be a lot faster on the way home when these attacks start. And Tim, you got a little message there from the big dog over in the US of E, who's our new voiceover guy on the podcast. I've noticed
Guerra, yeah, of course. Nathan
Do you
Guerra.
know Nathan? Do you know him?
Sometimes he uses terminology out of Twitch that I have genuinely no idea what he's talking about, but he's saying
he's going to stitch us up one night for sure.
The duck and the frog are in the race, and welcome, the duck and the frog.
The duck and the frog. I'm sure that's all happening tonight with the duck and the frog, both in that front group. Whoever they are, I'm sure we'll work that out as we go around. So, really good size front group, about 25 to 30 riders still hanging in there.
Alex
and
West.
You can see that attrition now back to Denga, Tim, back to Denga there. An 18-second back to him, Staggy, and a lot of other riders in that second group as well with Wood.
Yeah, absolutely, Greg, absolutely. So a bit of a chance here, like on that first lap, for us to take a little deep breath, and we'll be back in about 15, 20 seconds' time. We need to make that longer, Greg.
We're back.
I need more
We're
breaths. I need more breaths. I might just pad that one out.
Luckily, we weren't talking about Kappa when the ad popped up in the corner, so we would have been caught out. But, it's really good to see. And Joel Murray still in that front group there, Tim. And a lot of riders just this will string out again when they hit that ramp out of the aquarium, I'm sure.
Yeah, look for that big finish. We know, like we say, we know Aidan Sinclair likes to attack early, and we certainly like to see some of these big teams as they start to get pretty coordinated in the community racing. Will they carry it through here in the verified racing, and will they carry that through, of course, after the community race tomorrow? We go back to back, and we go straight into another league race at 9:45 a.m. That's if you're in Brisbane, Australia. You do the math as time zones shift.
It's always good. You know what we need to do? We need to get the great Nathan Guerra online, Tim, because we need to find out all this sort of info that he's been building on athletes now for years and years. So he's watching at home. It's probably about 1:30 or 2 a.m. He's usually up and doing something.
And Davey Biondo, welcome, mate. Hope the inmates are behaving tonight. One of the prison guards down there in Grafton, so must be plenty going on. Davey, welcome along to the broadcast. Just want to throw him under the bus there. But if you do want to get involved, of course, in the KOA Sports League, it is free. It is free, and I don't know about you, Greg, but I love free stuff. And you can get involved in verified racing with a free Training Peaks account, and gives us a little bit of visibility over not only the race data, but of course the training data as well. Yeah,
been really interesting, Tim, the amount of athletes that have really wanted to engage with this verified racing for the integrity side of things. So it's really cool to see, and we'll be rolling that out. To be fair, probably been more popular than what we thought. We thought it would take us a couple of years of getting that message out to athletes, but the response has been amazing.
I can kind of understand why, because I'm a man of integrity, but yourself not so much. So I can understand why you might have struggled to understand integrity. But
Kappa, he might know how to spell integrity.
I can spell integrity.
No,
mate.
Don't do it, mate. You're going to embarrass yourself.
I'm not going
if
to
you
do
get it wrong. But Daz Carter, it'd be good to watch his stream. So have a look at some of his stuff. It's pretty darn funny.
Yeah, he was on babysitting duties last week and had his little daughter there, Annabelle, in the stream with him while he was babysitting. She was in another room and he had the screen set up in the corner.
Jeepers.
So whatever it takes, right?
Aponik in there. Aponik, we've seen him do some pretty big things.
He's going to complain.
Well rated.
He's going to complain.
Well, what's why?
The voice pronunciation's wrong, mate. It's Upanik.
Oh, really?
Yes. We've been corrected.
Oh.
Yeah, we spoke about this before. You've got the memory of a goldfish tonight. Have you had a bit going on, Tim?
Hang on, where am I?
A little bit going on.
Hang on, where am I? Hey, don't you love our avatars, our tiles? They actually move.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's amazing you can make them move. So amazing. Here comes a feather power up being played. Let's see if we can see attacks. We're going to see some big numbers here. Lionel there just throwing down a lazy 450 watts. I love the cadence of Lionel whenever you watch him live.
110 was it? I didn't catch it.
Just throwing me under the bus there. We might try and grab him back there, but always over 100.
Look at these numbers, Tim. That's a genuine attack by some of these guys. Straight off the front. Aidan Sinclair, the young man, bang, straight off the front again.
Keep the heat on.
And Tebow trying to come across the gap with Daryl Carter and Westy still hanging in there too. Ryan Russell, look at this gap starting to come out a little bit now, Tim. But Aidan might just sit it up. Yeah, 4.9 watts a kilo.
Hard to sustain
and
that.
We've got Davies coming across there trying to bridge back at 10 watts a kilo, if you don't mind. He's leading B grade there at the moment, but we can see a few B grade athletes there as well, with Ryan Rosselli still holding in there as well. And Tommy Morwood, the great man, Tommy Morwood, just rolling to the front of the group. I have to get onto him, Tim. it's not a good idea to sit at the front. That is called the Goodyear effect, and it doesn't work long-term in racing, as we found out in Series 1 of the KOA Sports League with our great mate Tony Goodyear taking the prize of the most combative rider.
Tony
but
and Sarah, the dual treadmills. They got dual treadmills, if you don't mind. Look at those tyres, Greg. Look, they
got two. We're moving again. Yep. They got two treadmills.
They got the dual treadmill, mate.
I only found out about one.
It's called tandem.
It's
called tandem. So
there's a bit of funny stuff going around for some tandem e-bikes through the week.
We're still very much together here. Messiano and Alex West in there, and of course Lionel. So look, Aidan Sinclair, we expect to go a little bit earlier as they come out of the S's, but can they hang on? It's really from that 6% climb at the start of the S's after that sprint com. It is just absolutely on for about 2 to 3 minutes. Lay down your best 2 to 3 minute effort, and you may, as you say, Greg, get the chocolates.
The chockies. So we had a few requests this week of athletes that want to move through the grades and take the chockies. So that's obviously getting around the world a little bit faster than we thought, the old chockies. And like anything, Tim, imitation is the best form of flattery. So if people can start using the chockies as well, that'd be great.
I'll just leave that right there. Leave that right there. So they're coming out of the fishing village now. A nice little chance for us to take one more break. Thank our wonderful supporters, BMC. They really go a long way to putting this production together. And check them out. They've got a great
not
action.
A bad bike,
and,
by the way.
Not a bad little machine as well. And let's check them out, and then we'll get back for this massive finish.
And Tim, those bikes, I've only got 3 in my garage at the moment. I've offloaded one to a local athlete, and he's joined the league actually. So shout out to young man O'Brien, who is now riding along on a nice TMO2, and can't wait to maybe in your pain cave later in the year you might have a new little machine coming through. Maybe. That's if they can get it out of Europe. That's if they can make it.
Who knows? So, who knows? But obviously, everyone's under the pump at the moment. But wonderful stuff. So here they come. They've done pretty much the cruisy work. Now we're getting ready for the hard work. This train is well and truly
They've done the warm up. They've done the warm up, Tim. Heart rate's over 170. That's the warm up in the KOA Sports League. So the warm up's done.
That's like our group rides.
Take this. It's like my trainer set the other morning.
Yeah.
When I nearly died. So little kicker here was decent. There's a couple of feather power-ups being played there now from Waters, the CQ rider, just bouncing off the front. Yeah,
of course, you can play a power-up because you do get a chance at another one. So you can risk it and go for that aero helmet. That's the one you want, of course. Or the draft bus, not too bad as well, because this is going to be a tightly packed finish. There'll be at least 10, 15 riders within about 2 seconds of each other, you'd suspect, wouldn't you, Kappa?
I'd say so, especially on the downhill. It's they've got such a fast run down that people can really slingshot. So if you're napping, you're
gone.
You can lose it.
Yeah, and it'll really take off. You'll notice when Tim starts to get really excited, and then on the right-hand side, there's a 300-metre sign, and that's when it all goes red. And everyone goes red.
And it's going to get really exciting when Greg starts to talk over the top of me.
I'm not doing it tonight. We're going to let Tim call it all home. We're going to zip my lip, and Kappa's going to mute me. I just get a little bit excited, but the first rule of commentary is never talk over your fellow commentator. Otherwise, it might be a stink on out the back.
I can't wait till you watch this back and you see what I've added in the scroll bar.
Oh, not again. It's on again too, is it? Kappa, can we take control of the scroll bar from next week, please?
We can do what we want.
Well, considering we're all in different rooms of the world at the moment. We'll have to collaborate.
Most definitely not. Let's focus in on the action. It's about to really heat up, Greg. So here they come out of the end of this sprint com. They're going to go across the rickety bridge, chuck a hard right and up to 6%, and boom, it's going to absolutely explode. Look for massive numbers. So when they go orange lights on the right-hand
There's
side,
the power-up marker. Bang. You got your last power-up. So hopefully for all those guys, Westy and Lionel picked up a 10 XP, and everyone else got the aero helmet. That would be amazing.
Yeah, here they go. So Jason Avery in there, Tebow. Great to see some KOA Sports athletes, some really quality triathletes hanging in there with the pure cyclists.
Yeah, so just going to ramp this right up here now. This is where things start to happen. So got a couple of, who's that on the right-hand side firing up with the feather? They're all coming through now. So Aiden Sinclair, 8 watts a kilo. There's Lionel there off the front. Daz Carter as well hanging in there. Look at all these feathers being played now, Tim. So we've got Rosselli in there. Morwood still hanging in there as well. This is where the heart rates start to go. Just watching Daz there. He's a mature gentleman pushing 177. We've seen him get to 185 before. So we'll watch to see Daz as he rolls up that hill as well. And Westy's still sitting in that group quite comfortably with Messiino, the Argentinian athlete as well.
Yeah, Tommy Morwood there off the front we spoke about earlier. Daz, of course, done the sub-9 Ironman. Welcome to the club, Daz. Lionel, of course, there moving off the front, and of course his teammate Alex West there hanging in there very well.
This is a scheduled attack from Morwood. He was on the text earlier today and he wanted someone else to go with him. I won't mention that person's name, but Morwood's going to bust it as hard as he can off the front because he's got his wife sitting down next to him watching him and heckling him all through the broadcast.
Early power-ups being played there by Jay Murray and L. O'Day. O'Day there, or O'D, sorry.
O'Day, it'll be O'Day,
that
Tim.
right.
O'Day.
And they're just sitting on the back wheel there and starting to come back together. Some really weird haircuts. Speaking of weird haircuts, have you seen mine? Aiden Sinclair hasn't gone early. What's he doing? What is Aiden Sinclair doing as he spilled his cup of tea? What is going on, Aiden? Lift.
He's not going to pull out that chain off thing again, I hope. So this group now, this is going to roll around till about the 350, 400 metre mark. No JPV in this field, Tim, so expect them to stay together for a little bit longer. So great to see Joel Murray. He's really improved throughout all the KOA Warrior races over the last 6 months.
And making it really easy, of course, putting everyone in the same jerseys, so makes it an absolute pleasure for broadcasters. So here we go, attack off the front there. We'll try and work our way up to the front. Daz Carter, 7.7 watts per kilo. It's gone. It's blown up. Daz Carter now off the front. Has he got it done? We'll see if they can come back together. Lionel off the front, 5 seconds back to the group now. Aiden Sinclair responds. We're with Lionel now. He's put 6 seconds back to, well, Greg's saying shut the gate. I'm not sure about that. 7 seconds back to Aiden Sinclair, 9.5 watts per kilo. Lionel just telling everyone who's king, who is going to maybe dominate this KOA Sports League. I'm not sure. It's back to 11 seconds. Lionel, 9.8 watts per kilo, 10 watts per kilo for the last minute. He might even sip up and have a little cup of tea with Prince Charles on his way through. 200 metres. Will they close the gap? Back to Joel Murray there, 11 seconds. Lionel now just easing back to 700 watts, doing it really easy. Lionel's going to take the chocolates, but here comes this sprint finish. Joel Murray there, 8.5 watts per kilo. Tommy Morwood off the front, and Messiano. Alex West, can he get second? Will he grab it on the line?
Yes,
Westy,
definitely did.
1-2 Canyon.
Yes.
1-2, and Lionel has just.
He only won by 12 seconds.
We got a little something going on there. So who knows? We'll go back to the drawing board. But
that was very tricky, Tim, for me not to jump right over the top. You did such a bloody good job, considering every athlete's in the same jersey for some reason. But we will work all that out. So definitely a 1-2 Quinella for the Canyon ZCC team tonight.
Yeah. Yep, we'll have a look at the official roll. It's not
He's not convinced us yet.
Not totally convinced. We do love Lionel, but that was an extraordinary attack. Let's go have a look at the replay. Jeez, he went early.
Oh yeah.
Goodness gracious me,
14
Greg.
watts a kilo for over 30 seconds.
I don't think I could hold such a high cadence in my voice for such a long period of time. But Lionel there, unbelievable.
Check out
numbers.
the heart rate, Tim. 185
Look
and
at
100 RPM. Unbelievable.
700 watts, 751 watts, 687 watts as we watch Lionel come across the finish line. We managed to catch that second group as well. I don't know if we've got the whole replay. Yeah, so Lionel there sort of waltzing across the line, and then Alex Westy's
in the
teammate
pink cap. He always races the pink cap.
He did indeed. But yeah, it was an amazing finish. He just hold off Messiano, I think. So we'll of course. you know, for when we start to score the races, Greg.
As far as teams go, and we'll see it again in the community race tomorrow, Tim, with and Kappa with Team Finesse. The Kenyan ZCC guys there tonight, only 2 of them in the field. They had that well organised. Lionel went really early. Westy sat up, didn't need a chase, took second place. Absolutely spot on, and an unbelievable race. Some huge numbers, and I called it at a 7-second break that they wouldn't catch him, and they didn't get anywhere near him. He kept waltzing on through to the finish line. So if you had your ticket if you had your money on Lionel tonight, go and get in the line for the bookies, because they're paying out already. So an unbelievable night of racing. Really enjoy this course and cannot wait for tomorrow, Tim. It's going to be on again.
Yeah, join us obviously tomorrow. We're back to the community race at so this is of course Brisbane time, Australian Eastern Standard Time, just to really confuse you, at 9 a.m. the KOA Sports Warrior race. Anyone can join that one. Just find it on your Zwift companion app. Maybe a little bit of an appetizer to what you can find then later. 45 minutes later, we go back to back, and I think we're doing 12 laps of Crit City.
Absolutely. I think we're either doing Downtown Dolphin or the Bell Lap. I'm not too sure which way we're going, but the athletes will work that out. And that little circuit is absolutely amazing for racing. So cannot wait for that. A lot of athletes doing the double. So check out koasportsleague.com. Register. It's all free. We'd like to see you tomorrow. Until then, see you later.